The history of the class of 23. In the fall of 1919, the freshman class congregated in small groups in front of the high school building. We were rather awed as we presently passed into senior high to enter upon our 4 years of school life there, especially as we did not know what was ahead of us. However, we found in the following 4 years that there were many good times in store for us. Following the example of the upperclassmen, we elected Ernest Warden, President, Fred Fraser, Vice President, Kenneth Wearick, Secretary, and Earl Brown, Treasurer. It fell to the lot of Miss Coutts to guide us through this, our hardest of years. You see, freshmen are always accused of things that they don't do. Getting lost, for instance. We were well represented in the cantata Holy City. Louise Meyer took second place in voice at the Wabash Valley contest at Terre Haute. She certainly made us proud of her as she was one of our freshman girls. In our sophomore year, we elected Louise Mayer, President, Warren Kreckler, Vice President, and Derexa Pentreth, Secretary-Treasurer. Mrs. Johnson was our able class sponsor. This year, Louise Mayer again brought our class before the eye of the public by winning, this time, first place in Voice at the Valley contest. We entertained the school at our sophomore assembly by letting them into the secrets of a photography gallery. We also entertained ourselves with a Halloween party. During our junior year, Ruth Briggs, Lucille Agnew, and Dorothy Plaster held sway as President, Vice President, and Secretary-Treasurer, respectively. We liked Mrs. Johnson so well last year that we again elected her as our sponsor. We started the ball rolling right away with our hobo party. Everyone wore rags and tatters to the hobo wedding of Melissa Bell and Hiram. Melissa Bell's bridesmaids carried gorgeous bouquets of goldenrod. Paul Daniels was the charming little ring bearer. Later in the year, we had one of our celebrated kid parties. When we arrived, we found all our friends looking as they did in the grades. It did us all good to feel so young and gay again. Mrs. Johnson and Miss Morgan, with great long pigtails tied with pink hair ribbons, taught us how to play London Bridge and drop the handkerchief. Near the last of the year, we entertained a family who were members of our class, and incidentally the rest of the school with our radio concert. Behind the scenes, Carl Kester announced the program in his big, booming voice. After a few seconds' pause, one could faintly hear the voice of the great Josephine Roberts, or the music of Ruth Briggs and Catherine Stoltz. Suddenly it became louder as if it were right in the room, and then suddenly died away again. Many of the juniors were in the musical comedy Miss Cherry Blossoms. The principals were, with one exception, from our talented class. The grand finale of the year was our junior-senior banquet, which was given in the basement of the Methodist Church. It was beautifully decorated. The program was different from those usually given at our banquets. We presented a little play for the amusement of our guests. Little Miss Henrietta Dyes gave the favor dance. The favors were corsages and boutonnieres of sweet peas, our class flower. On September 6, 1922, our class as seniors, without the usual dignity, came back to CHS for the last time. To manage our affairs through our last and very busiest of our 4 years here, we elected Josiah Davis, President, Nidus Overpeck, Vice President, Doyne Shue, Secretary, and Lester Martin, Treasurer. Miss Glenn was elected class sponsor. During the holiday season, Pete Vietti was host to the senior class at a party given at Happy Land. We were entertained by some humorous plays and also by dancing. Santa Claus, Josiah Davis, gave us all a present. We noticed that Goofy tried valiantly to dance. Ruth Briggs and Derexa Pentreth represented the school at the annual bi-state Latin contest at Louisville. Derexa was also one of the representatives last year and made a very creditable showing. John Cranecock won the county discussion contest and went to the district contest at Brazil. On May the 9th at the Capitol Theater, the senior class showed the public how to putting it over in the play Putting It Over. Senior Chapel was our last contribution to the entertainment for the school and was a fitting close to our 4 years of high school life. Class Day was a senior outing, and we hope that as alumni we can have one each year. When we received our diplomas, we felt that our 4 years of training and experience at CHS had better fitted us to meet the responsibilities of life, whether in pursuit of higher education or in a business career. Sarah Catherine Stoltz, 23.